Hey, welcome to SoundScape Season 2, Episode 2. Our guest this week is Fake James.
You're not alone. We're in a nobody move. I've never felt better. You're out on your own. You're learning to cope, and nobody knows. It's sad to bring you by, where all that I offer has already been had. But if you're dreading the weather, baby, don't look back. Chinook in December, what are the chances of that? If you're dreading the weather, on your hips on mine. I see your clouds under my toes in the sky. Don't remind me if I get too high, though you know that I was lying on your chest last night. See the rhythm of your hips on mine. See the rhythm of your hips on mine. See the rhythm of your hips on mine. I see your clouds under my toes in the sky. Don't remind me if I get too high, though you know that I was lying on your chest last night. See the rhythm of your hips on mine. Still the rhythm of your hips on mine.
Our guest this week is Fake James. Hey, Taylor and Connor.
You bet.
Thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
There's a mythos going around about Fake James that you had a collection of about 117 or so demo songs, and you managed to turn it down into a 7-track EP.
Yeah, that's right. So when I was about 19, I started playing around on GarageBand on just a little iPad. And I started experimenting, and before I knew it, I had just whack ton of demos. And I realized I could basically just select just the best of the best and leave whatever was left for the full-length album. So this year, I'm going to be working on a full-length album based on those demos. So.
And you were saying that some of your songwriting energy rubbed off on Connor. And what was it that you took from that to help you break out of your writing?
Well, when you see a friend of yours really pushing himself and challenging himself to do those things, you go, well, I miss that feeling myself. Like I've been there before, but then you hit a rut or you plateau and it's hard to get out of it. So to see a friend of yours inspire you to do the same thing that they're doing, it's really helped a lot. Absolutely.
So obviously both of you weren't the only two people playing. You had your friend Adeline on violin and Chris on the percussion, electronic percussion, as well as the drum kit. So how do they work into the group and with performing these songs?
Well, Sonny, Chris Sundberg, the drummer, he's like an integral part of this group. He ties it all together. He went to school in Vancouver for recording arts at Nimbus. And he basically, whenever we do live sessions or we do, set up for a show, he knows all the ins and outs, all the technical things to help us out. And not only that, he's just an incredible drummer, incredible synth player, and he creates his own beats. Basically, he goes by Vanilla Sun. And so he's like a whole other crazy artist. We don't like to just say he's our drummer, right? Like by himself, he's amazing. So yeah,
Everyone is sort of an equal contributing member.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
great. So how about we listen to one of your tracks right now?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Up next on SoundScape, Fake James.
Chances don't delay. Time somehow they work that way. Paradox unfold as everyone gets old. Get to work and don't be late. Might be worth something another day. That's all you've been told. While I've been sleeping, I've been trying. Why am I dying? Do my best and maybe more. Something was worth fighting for. Winter comes along. I've been so sad and wrong. But another day, the paradox unfolds. Get used to it when you are old. Winters have their way, erosion and decay. While I'm trying to see what all of this means to me, might as well be more, as if she heaps sting. I've been trying. Why am I dying? Do my best and maybe more. Something was worth fighting for. Winter comes along. I've been so sad and wrong. Fight another day. The paradox unfolds. Did you ever see that picture of my world before? Believing in a road that got through. Maybe just a little more. After that road I got through, it brought me yet another door. I asked my friends, will I smile where I go to? A question you chose to ignore. can find me. It's so far away. The guilt that surrounds me will make me stay. But don't confine me. Don't confine me. Don't confine me. And if you wonder why I sit there for hours, I'm lost in my thoughts, lost in my thoughts, and don't confine me to the one place that's mine. When I'm lost in my thoughts, I'm there all the time. Oh, oh. And 5 feet away there, she strums his guitar, pouring his soul and revealing his scar. And she doesn't know it. But out of thin air, the music, it holds her with arms of repair. And if you wonder why she sits there for hours, she's lost in the sun, lost in this song. And don't go find her, step on her toes when she's lost in the sun, the places she goes. You might not even notice, but I can notice steady, you know. You might not even notice, but I can notice steady, you know.
Hey, welcome back to SoundScape, Season 2, Episode 2. Here again with Fake James. We've got Taylor and Connor here, two of the great singer, songwriter, and song producers today on the show. So this music that you make, Fake James, I'm hearing lots of genres, but I can't put my finger on it. How do you describe the style of your music?
Well, when I was posting demos to SoundCloud, I noticed somebody commented, they said, nice hypnotic folk vibes. And I kind of took that and ran with it because my music tends to be pretty hypnotic, pretty relaxing. Like you could easily fall asleep to it. But obviously there's a lot of folk flavors, you know, with the cello and the violin and guitar. So yeah, hypno folk or whatever you want to call it, something like that. But I don't know about how would you describe your songwriting?
Well, like the hypnotic folk, I get a lot of my inspiration from the classic rock or the folk music of the 60s and 70s, and then you mix it in with Taylor's style of music and the way he can make those hypnotic sounds. It blends together well. Absolutely.
Sure.
Speaking of those hypnotic sounds, your violin player added a great flavor to the sound. Can you talk a little bit more about her contribution?
So Addie, she approached me about a month ago, or maybe 2 months, and she said she wanted to just collaborate. And I was like, man, I've been waiting for a violinist to jam with for ages. So we started jamming, and then I heard the opportunity to come play on the show, and I said, Addie, I know you've never even played a show with us, but like, we could really use a violinist on TV this month. So
it really fills out the strings when
Yeah,
not only the
exactly.
cello on the low end, the violin is just such a beautiful instrument to add to that.
So she was like, yeah, as soon as we're done with this big old TV shoot, maybe we can do some open mics or something, get her settled in. But I thought she did amazing, and she was a little nervous, but the entire time, me and Connor were just like, don't second guess yourself. You know, she's been playing violin for, 10 years or something like that.
Hell, we were all nervous, so it
Yeah.
really helped. Absolutely.
Sounded really beautiful.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
You mentioned jamming with each other, but you've also mentioned that you have this sort of huge catalog of songs to work with on your new album. Is it difficult when you start coming up with something new because you're like, oh, I already have so much, or do you have to like put it at the end of the list of things to work on?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, basically, when it comes to deciding on what to put on my album, my full length, I usually look at the lyrics and what story each song was telling. Because for this full length album, I wanted it to be like a timeline about the experiences I was going through when I was writing these songs. So if I happen to write a song that has lyrics that fits in and, you know, is a missing piece in the puzzle, then I'll definitely put it on the album. If not, I'll just have to wait for the next full length. But as far as coming up with new stuff, I think that Connor and I and Chris, the drummer, we're interested in playing a lot of original music together, like writing as a group, rather than right now, every song you hear was an idea from one of us that we brought to the table. But we're interested in like actually creating songs from scratch together. So that'll be the new thing for us.
And they might have a different tone, because from your story that you have shared on your website, you have a very tragic story that you're drawing from, and so I think that's why I feel a lot of sadness in your songs.
Yeah, it's a melancholy vibe for sure. I mean, what inspired all these songs and the reason that it moves me is basically I knew this girl, I was dating this girl who had a mental illness, and so now that topic means a lot to me. And just the idea of listening to the people you love can be so impactful on basically letting your demons out. And so now I let my demons out through my music, and I hope that it reaches people who have been through similar experiences. So that's where all the super mellow, sad stuff comes from. I mean, like trying to write happy music. This guy writes pretty happy music compared to me. Like his song Subtleties, it's got some happy energies. It's got some upbeat feels. So.
And then combined, you sort of give the whole range of the human spectrum of human emotion.
Yeah. And then Sonny, our drummer, he keeps telling me he wants to write angry music. He's like, when are we gonna write an angry song? Like, he just does, you know, he goes with the flow really well. But eventually, I'm sure he's gonna bring some crazy beats to the table that are, you know, a little more rock vibes.
I love how you combine the electronic synthesis in terms of, you know, the keyboards and the drums, and then you're combining it with, you know, cellos and violins, and it's definitely an example of what's possible this day and age when we're, you know, combining our organics lives with these digital manufactured lives.
For sure, man.
It's great. And one final question I'd like to throw at you, and I'm going to put on my Charlie Rose hat here because I think this is an important topic to address. In the last few weeks or months, a huge topic has been about fakeness. And it's been dominating the news cycle, and things are getting accused of being fake. Maybe they are fake, maybe they aren't. And I do feel that as Fake James, you have a responsibility to represent what fakeness is, or what authenticity is, or what the difference is between fakeness and authenticity.
Damn, that's a deep question. I really like that.
Great question.
So when I was thinking about being Fake James, I was actually referring to Chet Faker. His name's actually Nick Murphy, and he finally changed his name to Nick Murphy. But the reason he was called Chet Faker is his inspiration was Chet Baker, who was a singer back in the 70s. And I think it was just he said it was an homage to Chet Baker to be called Chet Faker. So I took that and ran with it. I was like, well, who do I aspire to? Who's an artist who is authentic? Who's an artist who presents their music the way that real life is? And that to me was James Blake. He's got some crazy sounds. You know, his debut EP, it went right over my head. It's just wild. And so his ability to portray music in a way that's so raw and unrefined, it's just like almost hard to listen to at times, inspired me to be, you know, just tribute to that guy, because he's my idol as far as songwriting. So it's gonna be James Fake, but that just didn't flow. So Fake James it was.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I feel like you guys are really authentic, and I really can't wait to hear more music from you. So let's listen to some more Fake James, and thank you so much for coming on SoundScape.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
In my hair where it's always overcast. The saddest of thoughts can rise, shine, rest and load and make yourself it out. Standing still is part of life. They will most often manage to chase me down. So riddle me that, oh, riddle me that. Baby blues and golden flags, bright eyes shine like no one's seen it. And you find happiness in your doubts and diamond rings in your ear. Anger and toil, I'm such a coward, but hearing it from you is too much. See, I'm made of metal pliers, and you tore it up. You have to learn to take things in stride, and I have to not be absorbed in my mind. Oh, I know you're bound by mistakes that you've made, but shouldn't you be home with your child? I've seen your face here one too many times, and I know that you've been running wild. I know you're bound by mistakes that you've made, but shouldn't you be home with your child? I've seen your face here one too many times, and I know that you've been running wild. Mistakes that you've made, but shouldn't you be home with your child? Seen your face here one too many times, and I know that you've been running wild.